8 teams, 8 reasons to believe. The 8 teams in the quarterfinals all dream of lifting this famous trophy. FIFA Plus explains why each of them is able to do so. According to the bookmakers, the title should not escape Brazil. In their opinion, Croatia and Morocco might as well accept their second-in-command status. But as we've seen over the past few weeks, the FIFA World Cup likes nothing more than to defy the odds. The proof? Over the last 12 editions, only one favorite has justified the confidence of punters. The 8 teams still in contention are now only 3 victories away from their dream, lifting the most coveted trophy on the planet. Impossible to fight their way to the quarterfinals without having solid arguments. But what is the number one asset of each of the quarterfinalists in the race for the supreme title? FIFA Plus has looked into the matter. Argentina. New faces to support a genius at the top of his game. Lionel Messi has often illuminated the competition with his talent in recent years, a contribution rewarded with the Golden Ball in 2014. Many observers believe that the Pulga are currently delivering their best performances, for what should be their Song of the Swan. But Messi has accustomed his supporters to expecting the impossible. The latter, however, have another good reason to rejoice. Indeed, sometimes unexpected heroes began to emerge from the shadow of the Parisian. Alexis Mac Allister, Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez were able to raise their level of play the day after the defeat against Saudi Arabia. Brazil. A powerful attack that seems to have found its spearhead. Brazil had not been at such a party in the World Cup for a long time. Some even believe that you have to go back to 1982 to see the Seleção achieve a performance as successful as that delivered during the first half of the round of 16 against the Republic of Korea. These 4 goals, each more magnificent than the next, bear the mark of a particularly complementary group of attackers. In search of a center forward since the retirement of Ronaldo, the big favorite of this 2022 edition seems to have found his man in the person of Richarlison. The Fenomeno himself dubbed his heir with these few words. "What I did for you by showing you the way, now it's up to you to accomplish it." Croatia. Managers to supervise the younger generation. Luka Modric is always there to pull the strings in midfield. Ivan Perisic always scores in important moments, should reassure Croatian fans. However, this would be to neglect the emergence of a new generation that dreams of taking this selection even further. Marko Livaja shines in attack, while Josko Gvardiol is the envy of several very big European clubs. Zlatko Dalic was quick to call the young prodigy the best central defender in the world. Finally, the Vitrini found themselves a new penalty shootout specialist in the person of goalkeeper Dominik Livakovic, decisive against Japan. England. Lots of goals and lots of scorers. Fourth in 2018, England had a strong dependence on their 2 main goal scorers at the time, Harry Kane, the competition's golden boot and set pieces. With 9 out of 12 goals, the 3 Lions had the best record in this sector by far. 4.5 years later, Gareth Southgate's men have the best attack of the tournament, but this time, either set pieces nor Kane, a goal, have much to do with it. England, on the other hand, relies on a strong creativity and an impressive diversity of scorers, 7 in all. Is the long crossing of the desert begun in 1966 about to end? France. Mbappé and his Musketeers. The team coached by Didier Deschamps had triumphed in 2018, but, at the time, Kylian Mbappé only shone intermittently, while Olivier Giroud remained curiously silent in front of goal. In Qatar, the former has further raised his level of play, to the point of now being regularly compared to the greatest. The second, meanwhile, has already hit the mark 3 times. With his 2 assists, Ousmane Dembele seems to have found his place in this attacking trio. Mbappé has 5 goals and 2 assists at this stage of the competition, which makes him one of the most decisive players of this 2022 edition. As Garrincha, in 1962, and Diego Maradona, in 1986, have already proven in the past, an exceptional individuality can sometimes make all the difference between a title of world champion and an honorable career. Morocco. Rigor and an unfailing state of mind. Morocco is undoubtedly the good surprise of this World Cup. But it is well known, the best things come to an end. Certainly, the supreme title still seems far away. But history has proven that an impermeable defense is often a valuable asset in the second phase of the tournament. The Moroccans have already managed to muzzle Belgium, best attack in Russia 2018, and Croatia, unfortunate finalist of this same edition. Since then, Spain has also suffered the law of the Atlas Lions. Under these conditions, it is probably a bit early to bury Moroccan ambitions. Netherlands. An old fox at the controls. In 2014, only a penalty shootout prevented Louis van Gaal from leading one of the least talented Dutch teams ever to the final of the world's biggest tournament. The dean of the Qatar 2022 coaches is back, with the same strategy, and a much richer squad. Arjen Robben is no longer there, but Van Gaal can count on Virgil van Dijk to lead his defense, Frenkie de Jong to rake the balls in midfield and Cody Gakpo to effectively assist Memphis Depay in attack. Our opponents don't adapt to our strategy, which works in our favor, said the Dutch strategist. I've always said we could go all the way. It's not a certainty, but we have the means. Difficult to prove him wrong when you see the richness of the workforce of the Netherlands in certain positions and the pedigree of their coach. Portugal. Place for the collective. The truth of a match is not always that of the next day. Nevertheless, the correction, 6-1, inflicted by Portugal on Switzerland in the round of 16 seems to mark the beginning of a new era for the Seleção das Quinas. The journalists were not mistaken and even speak of the best Portuguese performance in the final phase. For several years now, the Portugal team has revolved around a giant star called Cristiano Ronaldo. In the absence of her star striker, she appeared liberated. It must be said that his replacement, Goncalo Ramos, applied himself to forget CR7 by signing a hat-trick. João Felix arguably played his best game in the selection, while Bernardo Silva dominated the midfield head and shoulders. If this match was a prelude, the other title candidates have a lot to worry about.